Hey friends, we are in my kitchen today. Today's Tuesday, and I talked with some of you in a meeting yesterday and told you that we were going to do something that had to do with science, and we're doing it in the kitchen. So I have my apron on, and we are going to get ready. You get to watch me make something in the kitchen that has to do with science. Did you know that when your mom and dad cook, and you cook with them, you are actually doing science. You're participating in a science activity. When we cook, that is a part of science. Do you remember our book that asked, what is science? So when we cook, that is science. Cooking is science. So the first thing you need when you're cooking, you need a recipe. And today I'm going to make some banana bread. And I'm going to give the recipe to your family if you want to try and make some banana bread too. So the first thing we need is our recipe. Here's the recipe. So, Mrs. Hoffman keeps erasing some of the things on the board. So this is our banana bread recipe. So it says banana bread recipe. You need 1 cup of shortening, 2 cups of sugar, 4 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a half cup of buttermilk, 3.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 6 bananas that are all mashed up. So Mrs. Hoffman has all those things. So the first part of a recipe, you have to get all your things together. So I'm going to show you on my counter. I have all the things together that we're going to need to make banana bread. So there's my ingredients. Those are called ingredients. So the reason cooking is like science, you're going to take all these ingredients and you're going to put them together. And some of the ingredients are going to make a chemical reaction. The buttermilk, the salt, and the baking soda are going to do things to the other ingredients to change them and turn them into a bread that is, after it's done, those ingredients make it so that the other ingredients turn into bread. So part of science is putting things together and making new things. So we're putting all these ingredients together to make banana bread. So a long, long time ago, someone thought of an idea. They had an idea. I want to make some bread and I want to put bananas in it. So scientists have an idea. They have something that they want to try, something that they want to make. They start with an idea and then they test their idea. So a long time ago, someone thought of this recipe. This is an old recipe. And they put some things together, and sometimes they tried it. It might have not worked very good. And then they finally came to the good recipe, and this is the good recipe of just the right amounts of ingredients to make banana bread. So first you have your recipe. So scientists have an idea. They start with something. They need to get their details together. Remember yesterday we talked about details in our story. They need to get things together to try out their experiment. These are the things we're going to put together to make something. So then we have our directions. After you have your ingredients, then you have your directions. And it says, number 1, cream the shortening and sugar. So when you cream something together, that means you put it together in a mixer and you make it so it whips up nice and soft. So that's what I'm going to do first. So I have some shortening. This is shortening. It looks a little bit like butter, but it's white, and it's something that you cook with. It's not very good for you, but it makes things taste good. So when you eat banana bread, you probably shouldn't eat it a lot because it's something that has sugar and shortening in it, and sometimes that's not good for our bodies if we eat too much of it, but it's okay once in a while. So I'm going to put my shortening into my mixer, and then I have some sugar. Here's my sugar. I have 2 cups of sugar. So I took a measuring cup. This is 1 cup. and I measured 2 cups of sugar. So I'm going to take the sugar and put it in to the shortening. Then I'm going to turn it so you can see. I'm going to turn the mixer on, and we're going to mix that together until it gets nice and creamy. So your mom might have a mixer like this, like Mrs. Hawkins, or she might have a hand mixer. So if you want to make this bread and you don't have a mixer like this, you don't need one. You just need a hand mixer, and you can mix those ingredients together. And then sometimes you have to stop and you have to stir it a little bit so all the ingredients mix together. Do a little bit more. Okay, and I'll show you what that looks like. So I have to unplug my computer because it's almost dead. So, you see inside the bowl, that's what the shortening looks like, all creamed. So, let's look at our instructions. The next part says, number 2, it says add 4 eggs to the shortening and the sugar. So, Mrs. Hoffman got out 4 eggs. And I'm going to turn so you can see. And I'm going to crack the eggs and put them into the shortening and the sugar. And your mom or dad can teach you how to crack eggs so that you don't break them and have the shells go in your bread. That wouldn't taste good. So I have 4 eggs. And when you're cooking, you have to make sure you wash off your hands. So I'm going to show you what the eggs look like in the shortening. Oops. There we go. Okay, I'm going to turn my mixer on. And we're going to mix up the eggs and the shortening. So part of science, remember, is testing things out, learning how to put things together to make new things. Sometimes scientists make new medicines. Sometimes they use their knowledge and they will build new things, like build new kinds of cars or new kinds of airplanes. Those are all things that have to do with science. So, I'm going to check and see. I'm going to stop my mixer. I'm going to make sure that all the eggs and the shortening and the sugar are all mixed together. Just a little bit more. And then I'll show you. So now, the sugar and the shortening were white and the eggs were yellow. So now you can see that our batter, that's called batter, the batter looks kind of like a light yellow color. So let's look at our recipe. The next thing it says is add half a cup of buttermilk and 3.5 cups of flour and our salt and our soda. So we're going to do just half of that at a time. So buttermilk is a different kind of milk that doesn't taste very good if you drink it. It's kind of thick and it tastes a little sour, but it tastes really good when you put it in recipes. So I'm going to put half of the buttermilk in. And I'm going to put half of the flour mixture in. And I'm going to put, let's see, my measuring spoon. So I'm going to look at my recipe. I need 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. So I'm going to get my salt. Mrs. Hoffman's got her salt shaker. I just use it and put in a little bit more. 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put it in there. And 2 teaspoons of baking soda. So baking soda we used when we had our winter celebration and we made our slime. Do you remember that? Baking soda helps things to get a little bubbly and to rise when you use it to cook. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to mix together the flour and the salt and the soda and the eggs and the sugar and the shortening. So we'll let that mix for a minute. See the mixer? I'm going to stop the mixer and I'm going to scrape the sides. So if you do this with your mom and dad, you can ask if you can do some of these things, and I'm sure they would love to show you how to do it. Or maybe a grandma or a grandpa could help you, or a big brother or big sister. Okay, so now we're going to add the rest of the buttermilk. We're going to scrape out all of the buttermilk. Ooh, Mrs. Hoffman sometimes makes a mess. And then I'm going to put the rest of the flour in. I'm going to turn my mixer on and let that mix some more. So I'll show you it's mixing. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to scrape it up a minute. So I'm going to stop it and scrape it. Make sure that all the things are mixed together. Then I'll turn it on just one more time. Let it mix. Then I'm going to add the bananas. So you have to get bananas that are nice and ripe, and you put them in a bowl and you mash them up with a fork or a mixer, and that's what makes this bread taste so good. So now we're going to look at our recipe. Oh, I forgot one thing. We need to add our vanilla. So this is vanilla. Your family uses this when you cook things and you want them to taste a little sweet. So I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Sometimes Mrs. Hoffman likes to add a little bit more. Then I'm going to add the bananas. I'm going to scrape the bowl. Make sure I get all the bananas in. Then I'm going to turn it on. We're going to let that mix a little bit more. So you can see now the bananas have gone inside the batter that had the sugar and the flour and the salt and the soda and the shortening, and it's all going to mix together. Then when that's done mixing, I'm going to put it in these pans. This is called a loaf pan. So it's going to make a loaf of banana bread, just kind of like a loaf of bread. So I'm I'm going to turn the video off, and then in the last part of this video, you get to see what the bread looks like when it is all done cooking, and then I'll show you how to cut it, and I'll have a taste. Okay, watch for the next part of the video.